Hello, welcome back to Swera Education. In our previous video, we learned what actually happens when you enter a URL in the browser and how HTTP works. Today, we are going to discuss how HTTPS works. Before that, let's try to understand what is HTTPS and why do we even need HTTPS with some examples. HTTPS or Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure is a protocol for securing the communication between two systems, for example, the browser and the web server. We need HTTPS for three major reasons: privacy and security, data integrity, identification. Let's talk about privacy first. Suppose we have Tom, Jerry and Bruno. Tom wants to be friends with Bruno and so he tries to start a conversation over a letter. But Jerry doesn't like this idea of Tom being friends with Bruno. Tom sends a message to Bruno, but the message is not encrypted. Jerry listens on the communication and succeeds in capturing the message, and potentially Jerry will be using it for some evil. Privacy means that no one can eavesdrop on your messages. What if Jerry updates the captured message to say bad things and then forward it to Bruno? That would really cause a big fight. This is called as man-in-the-middle attack. Data integrity means that the message is not manipulated on the way to its destination. When you browse to a website without HTTPS, someone like Jerry could be eavesdropping on your password. HTTP transfers data between the browser and the web server in the hypertext format, which is very risky. Whereas HTTPS transfers data in the encrypted format. The padlock on the URL bar of your browser tells you that there is no one watching over your shoulder, and it makes sure that your communication is not being tampered with. Thus, HTTPS prevents hackers from reading and modifying the data during the transfer between the browser and the web server. Even if hackers manage to intercept the communication, they will not be able to use it because the message is encrypted. And when you are browsing the web, identification means that the site that you are visiting is indeed the one you think it is. HTTPS via SSL certificates ensures you are connected exactly with the receiver you would expect. HTTPS needs a way to provide privacy, integrity and identification on the web, and the mechanism is called encryption. HTTPS uses SSL protocol to secure the communication by transferring that encrypted data. SSL fundamentally works with following concepts: symmetric key algorithm, asymmetric key algorithm. In the symmetric key algorithm, there is only one key which encrypts and decrypts the data. Both sender and receiver should have this key, which is only known to them. In reality, anyone looking at the message without the key only sees random text. The encryption key is mixed in with the message, so even if you know the encryption algorithm, without the key, the message is still nonsense. One main issue with symmetric keys is that they are hard to share. You have to be super careful with how you distribute the key. This brings us to the asymmetric keys. The main difference with symmetric keys is that you have two keys. Asymmetric key algorithm uses a mathematically related key pair to encrypt and decrypt data. In a key pair, one key is shared with anyone who is interested in communication. This is called public key. The other key in the key pair is kept secret and this is called private key. In the asymmetric algorithm, the data can be signed with a private key, which can only be decrypted using the related public key in a pair. SSL uses asymmetric algorithm to initiate the communication, which is known as SSL handshake, whereas SSL uses symmetric algorithm using the session key after the initial handshake is done. Let's discuss this more. When you visit sweratools.in in your browser, your browser displays a lock in the address bar. your browser communicated with the server where the Svera tools is hosted, and they both established a secure connection to transmit messages. But first, they need to agree on how to communicate securely. If the negotiation is not successful, your browser lets you know by showing an error or warning. If an agreement is reached, your browser is happy to display a padlock on the address bar. This is how it works. The client sends a client hello message. This includes the client's SSL version number, cipher settings, session specific data, and other information that the server needs to communicate with the client using SSL. The server responds with a server hello message. This includes the server SSL version number, cipher settings, session specific data, and SSL certificate with a public key, and the other information that the client needs to communicate with the server over SSL. The client verifies the received server's SSL certificate from certificate authority and authenticates the server. If the authentication fails, then the client refuses the SSL connection and throws an exception. If the authentication succeeds, then the client creates a session key, encrypts it with the server's public key, and sends it to the server. If the server has requested client authentication, then the client sends his own certificate to the server. The server decrypts the session key with its private key and sends the acknowledgement to the client encrypted with the session key. Thus, at the end of the SSL handshake, both the client and the server have a valid session key which they will use to encrypt and decrypt actual data. The public key and the private key will not be used anymore after this. The client and the server now uses shared session key to encrypt and decrypt actual data and transfer it. Now, they both generate the same shared secret that they are going to use as a symmetric key. Now, all data going back and forth between client and server is now secured for the rest of the session. That is how HTTPS works. If you think this video helped you, do like and share with your friends, and also don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thank you.